essentially like Castaway meets Minecraft, and it's still
Sunken
got the
Land,
same
you said.
problem. Yeah, Sunken Land. Still got the this major problem is like it's actually really hard to start because you start on an island that just has a bunch of wood, but you need like cloth and metal and components and things like that to make a bunch of the starting equipment. And
Yeah, the usual kind of stuff.
it's like the only way to get that is to go to the nearest island that is full of enemies and just kind of do your best to hit your head against that wall until you get some stuff. Except night falls pretty quickly. You can't swim at night because then you'll freeze to death. And the enemies all have crossbows where you can't make a bow yet because you don't have cloth. So it's like I'm just gonna take my spear and run against those enemies repeatedly. So it's even after the update, it's still a problem. You think they'd put like a starter bed or some kind of cloth source you could loot on the starting island. Nope. It's like a $20 game though, so it's not that bad. It's not like I'm out a bunch of money.
Sorry, I'm completely distracted with a conversation of people bitching about Kill the Justice League, to be honest.
That's fair. I have heard nothing about it, so
Whew.
I'm sure we can talk about it on stream.
I mean, I've hit record,
Oh,
which,
fair enough. All
yeah.
right. What's your take on it?
Uh, I have not seen anything good about it. Like, in fairness, the cultural zeitgeist surrounding the game is everything about it sucks. Here's all the things that suck about it, and by the very nature of that conversation, that means they're not talking about the things that don't suck, which presumably exist. I have to assume.
Have to assume, yeah.
You can't make something that is 100% bad, even if the bad is 99%, which is also unlikely in my honest opinion. There can't be no good to it.
I mean, I can understand why people hate a lot of things about it. Like there are a lot of things to dislike. Just events that weren't the game's fault did not help the conversation.
I actually haven't heard anything that wasn't related to the game. So what's that?
People thought it was Kevin Conroy's last role as Batman.
Oh. Oh yeah, okay, I saw that.
Yeah,
And
it was in fact not. He's going to be in a film, I think, an animated film.
okay, fair enough.
So yeah, it's not actually his last. That said, um, character is not treated especially respectfully in terms of just the character and in terms of how other characters treat him. Like, does anyone care if I spoil it?
Go for it.
I don't.
I mean, it's called Kill the Justice League, and you kill the Justice League. That's basically the fucking counterpoint that gaming journalism has decided to latch onto for downplaying the hatred this game is getting. Uh, yeah, like treating it as if people are just complaining about it because somehow they expected you wouldn't be doing that. You're actually not doing that, but we'll get to that. But yeah, the tone of the game is very comedy. It's very wacky hijinks of these unrepentant criminals and mass murderers and hitmen and whatever the fuck King Shark is. And it's not supposed to take itself seriously, I guess, is the thing they're going for. That said, one of the actors died, so maybe you should give it a shot for a couple of the characters, especially when one of your protagonists has a very long and storied relationship with one of these characters. So, in short,
Which actor died?
Kevin Conroy, Batman.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah. So when Harley Quinn decides to shoot him in the face while he's tied to a bench, maybe don't have her blame him for everything that went wrong ever, and also vaguely for everything that went wrong with her, which was very much more Joker's fault. It's a bit of a stretch, I'm gonna say that much. And also end it with a snippy one-liner, and then
That
when
is
it's done,
classic.
just not really care about it anymore.
Wait, did they give a one-liner or no?
Yeah, she gave a one-liner. It's
Oh, okay.
always end on your best joke. By the way, it wasn't a very good joke.
Yeah, I was gonna say like that. You should say that. You got to follow that with a good joke, or
Honestly, I can fix that scene really easily, and it's called Joker's quote unquote fatality from Mortal Kombat versus DC, where he has the pop gun,
Hmm.
where it's like, little flag that says BAM on it. It's cute. And then he actually shoots the flag into someone.
I do appreciate that. That's pretty good.
That would have been a joke, for one thing. I don't appreciate that it keeps the same, like, carefree tone. I don't think that scene deserves a carefree tone. I think it needs an actual bit of severity in that moment. But if you want to keep the carefree tone, then that would work better because it's funny. Like, that's honestly what I was expecting, but no, she just shoots him in the face and he dies. So.
Yeah, I mean, morbid comedy is absolutely the way to go with Batman. So it would have been better if they'd done that.
I'm going to mention something else because it's tangentially related to what I just talked about, but I don't know whether it's confirmed. I think it's only supposed to be hinted at. But loss.jpg?
Yes.
I'm waiting for it to click.
I mean, yeah, I'm aware of what it is. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to.
Okay. There is a female character that got beat up a lot by the character that I just mentioned died.
Oh,
Yeah? Is it clicking yet?
nope.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. It's implied that Harley had a miscarriage.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah. Which again,
Interesting.
if they, that's a dangerous angle to take for any story at all, as Tim Buckley would happily tell you. But I feel like that would be another reason to maybe give that moment a little bit of seriousness if you want to do that. So yeah, that was also a thing that I learned today in that conversation about people arguing about Kill Justice League. Do you know anything about Flash and Flash's rogues, gentlemen?
A fair amount, yeah.
Yeah.
Not really, no.
So, the Flash is an oddity in terms of him and his relationship to the villains that he deals with on a regular basis.
That
Most of them, friends is maybe a little bit strong way to put it, but there's a mutual respect there. The Central City Rogues have a bit of an honor code going on. Don't kill Flash. Don't kill women and children, kind of thing. Still shitty, still criminals, but there's lines in the sand that you don't cross.
There's some class there.
Sure. It's awkward to use words like that in this circumstance, but yes. Yeah, so they kill the Flash, and then Boomerang pisses on his grave.
That feels at odds with what we see of his rogue gallery.
Yeah. Was it his grave or his corpse? I assume it was his corpse because I don't think there's time for it to be his grave. So literally pissing on his corpse, I guess.
that's worse, I think.
Probably.
I would say worse, yeah.
So those are the two that people are really upset about. And I would say those are the two where it kind of makes a lot of sense. Like Green Lantern and Superman. Sure. Green Lantern, none of them really know him at all. He's just the guy that does the green things. So I can understand them not really giving a shit when he dies. Superman, I imagine they're just elated that they managed to not die fighting Superman. So,
Accurate.
but Batman, Harley should care. Flash, Boomerang should care. Hell, I'd have thought Deadshot would give a shit about Batman as well. Like, holy shit, we killed Batman is kind of a big deal, but they're just kind of, whatever. I'll tell you one more thing, though. Wonder Woman also dies. They strangely give a shit about Wonder Woman dying.
Yeah, I heard I hesitate to say controversy, but the hubbub about that.
Yeah, she is the one member of the Justice League where they actually seem to feel something. It's also worth noting that early in the game, Flash actually saves Harley's life because Batman's about to kill her. And Flash gets captured and brainwashed as a result of saving Harley's life. They don't give a shit. But, yeah, they actually care about Wonder Woman dying. and it's a poignant moment. None of them actually know her. Like, I don't think there's a continuity where any of them actually met her.
I don't think. I mean, like Justice League, I guess, but maybe.
Maybe? I don't know. Like, who is King Shark a villain of? My first guess would be Aquaman.
I yeah, probably. I don't know if that's one of the Batman villains that are like kind of obscure.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
A quick a quick search shows that he appeared as a nemesis to Superboy, though he's also an adversary to Flash, Batman, and yes, Aquaman.
Okay.
Yeah, so literally none of these people know Wonder Woman personally, but they're all super sad that she's dead.
Is Hawk Girl present in this continuity, or is Wonder Woman the only woman among the Justice League?
Don't know. I have not seen mention of Hawk Girl or Hawk Woman, whichever she happens to be in this incarnation. There are supposed to be 5 seasons of content because this is a live service game. That is the other side of this fucking discussion why people are pissed. Yeah, people are very sick of those, so that also didn't help.
Yeah, fair.
But Wonder Woman is an oddity because they care. Remember how I said that in this game called Kill the Justice League, they kind of don't actually kill the Justice League?
Yeah.
The brainwashed Justice League members are clones.
Christ.
So yeah.
Some peak comic book shit right there.
Yeah. Here's the fun part, though. Wonder Woman wasn't brainwashed when she died.
Oh, so she might actually be dead.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Hey, Captain Boomerang, what's that over there? Is that the script?
It looks like a smoldering pile of ash to me.
Yeah, they're sad about the only character that might actually have died. That they didn't know was the actual person and not a clone. Or rather, they didn't know the other ones were all clones.
First one makes more sense. Joker's made it clear on multiple occasions he doesn't actually want to kill Batman because that's boring. So maybe the rest of them feel the same.
I mean, I'm confused what you're saying there.
That they're sad that they actually killed the person instead because they knew they were clones. The rest
They didn't.
Oh, then
They find that out right at the end when they're getting into seasonal content, air quotes, because they find the real Flash. So, yeah, Wonder Woman is actually dead. The only hero they decided to actually kill in this game is the female hero. Whoops. Which brings me to another funny thing that I saw. There are journal entry type things, a codex, if you will, for this game, written by Lex Luthor. The Wonder Woman entry is effectively Lex Luthor Yas queening for Wonder Woman and Themyscira as a whole.
I don't know how to feel about that.
Saying what a utopia it is and free of the evils of man and capitalism and all of the things that Lex likes. So it's a little odd.
Lex is super into capitalism because he's
Yeah.
at the top.
Kind of. And how she is a paragon of virtue and justice. And he wonders why she would even leave her idyllic paradise of perfection that was Themyscira. Reminder that Themyscira is a monarchistic ancient society that runs on Greek morals and ethics. And also, they murder any men that wash up on the island.
They're pretty firm about that rule. Yeah.
I feel like someone wanted to convey a message while writing that codex entry, and it was very much at odds with the message of the rest of the game, where they kill the only female hero in the cast. Whoops.
This is what happens when two departments don't talk to each other.
A little bit. It's just it's all so weird. The writing is just friggin' weird. Like, there's author clairvoyance, there's fucking mismatched messaging, there's a tone that doesn't really make sense, and admittedly, yes, the bad timing didn't help, but still, it would have been weird anyway. And it's a live service game, and people are so fucking done with those.
Mm.
So yeah, that's where Kill the Justice League comes to a close. You'll notice I haven't talked about the gameplay at all. Nobody cares. It's a fucking looter shooter.
I honestly, I didn't even know the game was out. I just thought it was trailers so far. I've heard nobody talk about the actual game.
It's a looter shooter in the vein of Destiny and whatever.
Oh, I assume the Justice League are like raid boss style things then, like the same as Destiny bosses.
I saw the Green Lantern one. He makes a giant Gundam thing, I think, that's green.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. It's very much a departure for Rocksteady, who I don't even know anymore, man. That's what 8 years they worked on that game. What else did they? I think they did Arkham VR between that and Arkham Knight. It's sad, but another bad video game. It's another Tuesday. Oh yeah, games come out on Tuesday. That wasn't intentional, but
Yeah.
I
Well,
won't say
they're
bad.
right.
I'll say disappointing. I'll rephrase that because bad seems a little unfair. It's just another one of these kind of thing, is how it comes off to me. And it's not horrendous, but I don't know why it would be your favorite game ever.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if you like looter shooters, you're spoiled for choice. I mean, there's a lot of them,
yeah, there's plenty.
including older games. Like it's not even just you're not limited to new stuff either.
Yeah. So,
Well, it'll die shortly.
I haven't even checked the sales figures. I assume it's doing not terribly because brand recognition.
Yeah.
I
Probably
doubt
doing
it's doing
okay.
gangbusters enough for them to dedicate several years of live service to it.
Yeah. I mean, the important thing to keep track of would be the player base.
Then again, I don't know. I mean, Avengers lasted for quite a while as well.
Mobile game one or
The Squeenix one.
uh
In fairness, they spent like $100 million on it, so sunk cost fallacy, but still.
yeah.
So that was a fun thing that I saw. I've seen some other things, but I've talked for quite a while, and I wouldn't mind someone else taking over for a little bit. Or a lot, depending on what to talk about. So, Patient, how's it going?
well enough, I suppose. I really don't have much to add, though. Over the past couple of weeks, there hasn't been all too much going on. Just more of the same. Nothing really noteworthy.
Fair enough. Play anything or watch anything or
Okay.
I did stumble onto a very silly series of Persona 5 stories here. It's all by the same author, just crack taken seriously. It's not. It's just the group playing word games throughout the journeys. This
pretty
is a
fun.
pretty well established author in the Persona 5 fandom. Besides that, just helping out here and there with other stories, and just still trying to find a job and not quite succeeding yet. So hopefully that changes soon. Yeah, there really hasn't been a whole lot going on.
well, fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, I've had enough of those weeks.
Mm.
Remember all those many, many, many times when I would come to the podcast and say, I ain't got shit, someone else talk.
Pretty sure we've all had plenty of those.
Yeah. So, how about a little slice of life? Slicer.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, I did not.
I wasn't sure if it was as straightforward as that. Yeah. Yeah. So the latest season of Diablo 4 dropped last Tuesday. I played a little bit with my family because that's what we like to do. We play Diablo together. This season is the season of the Construct, as opposed to last season, which was Season of Blood or something like that. It was vampire themed.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So, uh, one of the established characters from Diablo 3 set up a bunch of crypts and vaults and such that were heavily trapped and were full of automatons. They were supposed to be like a defense against, adventurers. And then he just kind of lost interest. So it's very, very realistic in the scatterbrained mage theme.
Fair enough.
And so eventually some demons found all these automatons and were like, hey, we can use these. We can inhabit these. And so that's kind of the theme, is you hunting down these demons that have taken control of these automatons and possess them and such. So last season you had blood powers, which enhanced your own stuff quite a bit, and you had like, I think it was like 20 blood powers you could choose, and then you could have 5 of them were active at a time. It was pretty good. I mean, it really modified your existing gameplay nicely. This season you get a little construct spider that follows you around, and you could slap 2 different abilities on it, then modify those abilities in a bunch of different ways. It I'm having fun because I'm playing with family, but like this season feels a lot less fun than the last one. I think it's just that this construct doesn't really modify your gameplay much at all, so it's just not as involved.
It doesn't
So
change things up.
not really. I mean, I decided to play a summoner necromancer, so like I already have 12 skeletons and a golem following me around. So the spider kind of blends in, and I don't know if it's actually doing anything. So part of that's kind of on me for choosing that character class and build, but it definitely feels like the spider could be doing more. So yeah, kind of wish it was a little more interesting, but not all seasons are going to be hits.
Yeah, fair enough. I have never played a Diablo. I played Diablo 2 for like 2 minutes until I realized, hey, this game's old. I don't know how this works. I'm gonna play a modern game.
That's fair.
This was in like 2011, I think.
Mm. Yeah, it's probably better than Diablo 4, honestly.
Is it better
They
than Path of Exile? Because I played that over the past couple of weeks.
I don't know. I've never played that.
Which is to say, for about a day, and then I decided, wow, this game is shit.
It's definitely something, all right. I played it for like 5 minutes, so couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I mean, my understanding is it's Diablo, only way more involved and requiring. You know how there are those players who will just dedicate themselves to finding a way to make everything completely broken?
Yeah.
Just like the perfect build kind of thing. That feels like that's what Path of Exile is for that type of player and nobody else. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about the nobody else part, but I definitely got the sense that if you like making builds, that's your game.
Well, the thing is, if you do your build wrong, which is very, very, very easy, literally anyone in the community will tell you that because every guide I looked up told me that. If you do your build wrong, you will literally not be able to finish the game with your build and will basically have to start over.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah, a little bit.
Is it intuitive?
Not especially.
Uh,
Like, I remember, like, there is the passive skill tree, and this is the thing that scares everybody off because it is this gigantic web of literally hundreds of skill nodes. Just looking at it turns people away. I'll try and find a picture of it so I can show you. But
no, I can visualize it already.
I think I've seen it.
Passive. There we go. That'll pull up the image, and I can go like this. Keep it a copy, and boop. Oh god, that is 20 mega image, and it makes sense because that's the fucking thing.
Oh dear.
Every single dot on that thing is a skill node.
Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah.
And do you pick and choose among them, or can you finish with all of them?
So, do you see right in the middle where there are the 3 in different colors, and then there are the 6 like groups around it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Those 6 clusters are the starting points for the different classes. So that gives you a starting point, and it puts you pointed in the general direction of the things you broadly want to have for that class. So, you know, if you want to play as a duelist, you will get the strength and dex point, which is the very bottom of the tree there. That sort of area is where it will put you, and broadly speaking, will put you in the right place for getting skills that are relevant to that class. Thing is, don't try and like form a basis by getting the ones that are right underneath that class. Oh no, that's a bad idea. That's a terrible stat spread. You want to take connecting paths to a bunch of different places and really spread out through the map. And that is actually a thing that a guide told me, that getting the ones close to the thing is actually bad and you shouldn't do that.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't really want to know what doing it right was supposed to look like, because I knew it was going to end up being, hey, here is something someone spent 600 hours figuring out by trial and error. So just copy that, kind of. And that's not good. Like, I don't want to have to sit with a guide or a wiki open in another window to play this game. I can understand that being beneficial. I'm not keen on that being mandatory.
Absolutely not.
I get that. I'm used to doing that because Diablo's like that. It can be. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That plus a lot of other things about it just completely turned me away. Like, there is no universal currency in the game. There is no gold, for example.
I don't like that.
Sorry, taking a drink. There are about 10 to 15 fiat currencies that are, well, not fiat, ersatz currencies, my apologies, different terms, that are basically used as currencies but are also useful items. So you kind of have to decide whether you want to have the useful item or to spend it in barter for other things that you might want.
What is ersatz currency? I'm not familiar with that term.
Ersatz means just a pseudo currency, a sort of a thing that is basically used as a currency but isn't really a currency.
ERSATZ basically means imitation, artificial, that sort of thing.
Yeah. A thing that is effectively that but not that. Yeah, so that just makes everything a mess of trying to figure out, one, whether you want to keep your currency or not, two, what exactly that currency can buy, because they buy and sell different things, and whether the thing you can buy and sell with it is better or not. Also, you can trade the currencies for other currencies, and they have a sliding scale of value and usefulness, and they don't trade in the other direction. So you need to know what these MacGuffin items that are not especially like transparent about what value they have, which way they trade in terms of other currencies. Have I lost you yet?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it feels like to play.
If you need a guide to make it through these things, put the guide in the game for the player to access. And even then, that's not an ideal option.
Yeah, I don't... It is entirely possible that this game has a guide of those sorts in the game, and it would be in the help codex thing, I guess, that they have. I did not look at that, because by the time I realized I would need that to figure out how this fucking game trade economy works, I didn't want to play anymore.
Understandable.
So, yeah. So between the skill tree that is, like, yes, it is intimidating on first glance, but when you actually know how it works, you don't want to use it, and the currency system, and the inventory system where it gives you room for, like, 8 items, and seeing someone play without outside mods to filter items out so they don't even see them when they drop, and thus I saw a screen filled with hundreds of different items. I decided I never want to touch this game again. Never again.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Sensible.
The basic gameplay was sort of fun. It was not good enough to deal with that bullshit. It just wasn't. This is a game for your EVE Online fans. This is a spreadsheet trade and fucking statistics simulator where you pull up spreadsheets. It's not for playing fun video games. That sounds reductive, and it is, but genuinely, if that's the kind of thing you like, more power to you. There is a game for you, and enjoy it all to your heart's content. I don't want to fucking touch it.
In fairness, I don't think anyone's recommended Path of Exile to me. It's not... People who play it are aware of these problems.
Yeah. Like, every guide that I looked at basically opened with, yes, I know it's kind of crazy and it takes a lot of patience to get through this. They're right. It's not worth expending that kind of patience in my opinion to deal with all this bullshit. It's just entirely unintuitive for no gain whatsoever.
It doesn't sound like it's worth it to me either. I mean, I can be patient, but it depends on the circumstances whether I want to be.
There's definitely limits.
And I mean, like, it makes me think the kindest comparison I can think of is back when I played Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. That was a fun game. It was a challenging game. And I was interested in collecting everything that was in the game. And I did so. And my reward for that once was unlocking the bonus levels. And my reward for beating the bonus levels was unlocking hard mode. So just an invitation to play through the whole game all over again on higher difficulty. And no, I just wound up rage quitting and uninstalling the game for that.
I mean, in fairness, what were you wanting out of it? That feels like a good progression to me.
I don't know. I mean, I didn't really know what I was getting into. It was my first time playing a DKC game, and my only experience with Donkey Kong before that was the Nintendo 64 version that was modeled more after Banjo-Kazooie.
Honestly, for that sort of thing, my expectation would be a satisfying endpoint. Like, okay, you did everything, you 100% completed everything. Here is a nice splash screen, or animation, or the geometry of something is changed, like Mario Odyssey, where you get literally everything and there's a top hat on top of Peach Castle.
I didn't know that. That's delightful.
I didn't know it either. I still haven't beaten the volleyball and jump rope games.
It's always the fucking jump rope.
But yeah, that makes me think of the end of the special world in Super Mario World, and just that long string of coins saying you are a super player as you get to the end. Yeah, something like that. A satisfying endpoint that puts it perfectly what I was hoping to see.
In fairness, you might have gotten that if you beat hard mode. Who knows?
Not worth it at that point.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I tackled a mountain to get there. I didn't reach the peak, so that I would have to climb another mountain.
Yeah, basically. Face this larger mountain, covered in spikes and barbed wire.
No.
The ideal reward for a completionist is acknowledgement of the completion.
Yes.
Like, the more elaborate, the better. But
Absolutely.
it doesn't... The acknowledgement is the most important part. Saying, hey, go do this again, is not great.
Yeah.
Put it best. Yeah.
So, Path of Exile, it's not good. Just putting a button on that. It's not good for me, I'll rephrase again. Because I want to keep acknowledging that is a game for some people. Just not me. Just not me. Ever. Never again.
To each their own.
Yes. And one other thing that I did was I watched Season 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen. Yay!
Is it good?
Yeah. It's depressing.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. I've had multiple friends like send me clips to get me into that show, and I don't have time for that.
I think we've discussed it before on this show, and the general consensus was Naruto, but a lot better.
Yeah, that was me and Mike saying that, I believe. I don't remember whether Zero watched it. I think he did. But yeah, it's Naruto with a theme that it kind of sticks to, and that's apparently not for everyone. Because the thing that really got me to actually watch the second season was seeing a friend of mine bitch about it. And
Fair enough.
it was it was a thing that it was like, okay, I'm seeing you bitching about this, but I know a little about what the story's about, and this actually seems all not only on point but perfectly on theme. Like this is what this story is about, and you're complaining about it as if it's not. So I had to take a look, and yeah, I proved myself right to myself. It was on a Discord server where people are a little bit controlling of, hey, this looks like an argument is about to start, so stop talking about this now forever. So
Oh, that's the worst.
it is what it gets annoying sometimes, but it is what it is. It's how they want to run the place. It's fine. But like, yeah, I saw that conversation. It was very, very, very negative about that season in particular, with bits of things that happen much later, in the manga that haven't been animated yet.
That's different. Yeah, you're using essentially future knowledge that might not exist.
Yeah, but for the stuff that they were actually talking about, there were some bits that were fair as commentary of like, hey, this is a little tonally dissonant. That's weird. It shouldn't have been done this way. And I kind of agree with that for a couple of things. But for the most part, it was entirely on point. It was exactly what I thought it would be, depressing or not. And I appreciate what it was doing. To clarify, the theme of that series is death.
Yeah.
The main complaint that was part of that conversation was effectively, why are they getting us invested in these characters if they're just going to die?
I mean, that's the same appeal as Attack on Titan. I mean, people complained then too, but I guess they didn't learn anything.
I'd say the difference is I don't actually know what the theme of Attack on Titan is. It I think racism maybe, I don't know. It got weird from what I understand.
Yeah,
But
kind of depends on what season you're talking about.
yeah, that's kind of the thing. But for Jujutsu Kaisen, the theme from the very first episode, like the inciting incident, was the main character's granddad dying and saying, "Hey, you're a good kid. Try to do right by others, and don't die alone." And then he immediately dies. And the protagonist states his goal is to try to offer people the chance to have a good death. I think is the way that he phrases it. Not
Wow.
entirely knowing what that means.
Huh.
But broadly speaking, he wants it to mean what his granddad said, I think, which is, hey, live long enough to be surrounded by all of the people you love when you die, kind of thing.
Sounds good to me. Sounds wholesome.
Yeah, and
Sounds like something that could be misinterpreted if you say it out loud.
yeah, and he is very consistently confronted with the fact that not everybody gets to go out that way. And
Very
it
few
doesn't
do.
really matter how much you want people to be able to go out that way. It's not in the cards sometimes.
You can never save everyone. I suppose the question is then, does he let it get him down?
Oh yes.
When
Oh boy. People die in the show a lot.
It's not
And-
even like you can't save everyone. It's just like not everyone gets to go out well.
Yeah. And it's interesting because it does a thing where characters don't go out well by those standards, but they still go out with a smile.
strange.
And so what it does is the argument was essentially that the deaths feel pointless. They feel like narrative dead ends, while I would argue that they are reinforcing the theme of the story
Mm-hmm.
and exploring it as to what it means to have a good death. Can you have a good death, even if you are surrounded by all the people you love and you go out peacefully in your sleep? Is that good, or is that just death?
This does seem like the kind of thing that could start a debate, but it doesn't seem like it has to be an unhealthy.
So, I still very much appreciate that show. It hasn't, aside from a couple of tonal missteps that I mentioned, it hasn't gone off the rails. I expect it might, because, I've been spoiled on the things that... But, we'll get there when we get there.
Hmm.
But for what the anime has done, it's still really great. Nanami is still the best ever. Yeah. So that's a good show, and I am glad I spent the time watching it, despite how sad it made me.
That's fair.
So yeah.
I mean, it's not often that you have a good show that can actually make you cry like that. I mean, even non-anime Reflux, I think the only time it happened was Plastic Memories.
I can very much appreciate a shonen that manages to stay on theme. You
True.
don't get that very
Yeah.
often. That's just not a thing that the genre is really designed for.
Not really.
Like, One Piece kind of manages it because the theme is adventure, so you change up the story and do something strange and interesting and unique and odd every now and again, and you're still on theme. It's still going out to new places and experiencing new things. That's
Hmm.
what it's about.
It makes moderately more sense than Alice in Wonderland, but that's the whole thing. Yeah. So it's pretty easy to stay on point when your point is that vague.
It does make things a lot easier.
But,
In a way. I mean,
yeah.
it's hard to make a meaningful point aside from freedom. It can, anyway.
I would say One Piece doesn't really explore the theme of freedom especially well.
Hmm.
Because I would say to explore a theme, you need to explore its counterpoint.
Mm.
Like,
Okay.
if you're going to explore death, you have to explore life. If you're going to explore life, you have to explore death. If you're going to explore freedom, you have to explore, I would say security is probably the counterpoint to freedom in this particular thing, because it's trying to be the positive of freedom, so you have to explore the positive of security. Because it doesn't especially explore the downside of freedom either. So if we're all positives, then that's kind of what you have to do. So it's...
It's a fair criticism.
It's been a very writing discussion-y podcast.
I mean,
Well,
in fairness,
was that
that's,
not
Hey,
the
remember
original?
when that's what we did? Be a writing
Saying
podcast?
that- On the note of which, I did actually, now that I've got something in my stomach, I actually recalled one other interesting story I read this past week, or rather an update to it.
all right.
If you don't mind being spoiled on a particular plotline.
What's the series?
It's a Yu-Gi-Oh! Self-insert called Chaos Effect.
Oh, no, you're good.
Yeah, I don't care about Yu-Gi-Oh! Not to say that I don't want you to talk about it, I just don't care about spoilers because it's not my...
Yes, well, I think you'll appreciate this, even with the context I give. This is something of an AU alternate, and as part of that, it's not Ishizu that ends up facing Kaiba in the in round 2 of Battle City. It's Yami Ishizu who ends up facing Kaiba. And in the end, she ends up winning.
I don't know the series well enough to know how that affects everything.
Yeah, I don't
No,
know what that
it's-
means.
That's just setting up for the point I'm making.
That's fair.
Yami Ishizu won because she had Obelisk the Tormentor in her deck. After all, she didn't give it to Kaiba to keep, she gave it to Kaiba to borrow. And so she took it back.
Hmm.
And so, when she wins the duel, Battle City's anti-rule takes effect, which means she gets Kaiba's rarest card, which, in this case, is not Obelisk the Tormentor.
I assume Blue Eyes?
Yes, the Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Because he literally has all of them and there are only 3.
Oh, I forgot that detail about the show. In real life, they're hyper common. So.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's a fucking marquee card, so yeah, of course they are.
Yeah, so Ishizu takes the first Blue Eyes White Dragon that he ever received,
Brutal.
and he rips it in half.
Oh, shit.
Ooh.
I don't...
In fairness,
I don't know.
poetic, because that's what he did in the beginning.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's fitting, but don't piss off a billionaire. Your life is going to be hell forever.
He literally made an island nation school for battling duel monsters just to fuck with people. Like,
The man has petty goals.
yep, he
I
knows what
mean,
he's about.
I'll continue saying this until I'm blue in the face, my avatar notwithstanding. But if you have virtual reality technology that potent, it wouldn't be hard to turn duel monsters into something as mainstream as professional sports.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes
Yeah.
sense to me.
Uh, just wanted to share that little detail. That's the most recent update. The next update isn't coming out until next week, and that update is going to segue into Noah's Ark. I'm looking forward to that. If you're not familiar with the series, then don't bother thinking too hard about that.
Okay.
I will do that. Fair enough.
But now that's Noah's Ark with an ARC because one of the main characters is Noah. So, yeah. But, yeah, just a whole lot of reading and some writing that's been done. Not a whole lot to talk about after all. So that said, I don't believe Patreon is available yet. So, is that a podcast?
Yeah, I guess I think so. Yeah, I don't really
Yeah.
have anything else to talk about. I will be starting a new fic. I don't know whether it will catch on because it's going to be a Patreon fic. That polls every week. People don't love it, then they don't get more of it, kind of thing.
Fair.
You remember how Street Fighter 6 came out?
No. I mean, I'm aware that it exists, but I don't know any specifics about it, if that's the deal.
Okay, so Street Fighter 6 has the World Tour mode, which has you create a character, and they are, there is a plot. It's not a very intensive and, detailed plot, but there is a plot to it. Your player character is effectively a fighting savant where they just see one of the best fighters in the world do a move and they can kind of copy it instantly.
Oh, okay.
So that's how you get all of your movesets is you go to one of the masters, that's going to be the main roster of the game. You see them do some moves, maybe sit down on a training session, and then you just kind of have their basic moveset forever.
Okay.
So the premise of the fic that I'm going to do is, you know how Dan Hibiki is basically the joke character of the Street Fighter roster, and he is a complete pushover that can't accomplish anything?
Vaguely.
Yeah. So he is a complete chode and a fraud that thinks he's the strongest to the point of naming his personal style that he invented the Psycho style, or strongest style. And he likes talking up how great he is. So I decided, hey, he's not in Street Fighter 6, by the way. I decided, hey, what if I have the avatar character be a complete dope who doesn't really know much about fighting, but kind of wants to get into it and doesn't know that they're like a complete combat savant yet?
Thinks that's kind of normal.
Yeah. And they just kind of go to, probably find someone strong. How about this guy? His style's called the strongest style. That sounds that sounds worthwhile. So the first master that he learns under is Dan, and learns all of his moveset in like a couple weeks. And this puts Dan in a pickle because he's like, okay, this guy is kind of crazy talented. If he sticks around for long enough, he's gonna figure out I'm shit. Okay, protagonist, I need you to go out and learn from all of the other masters that are out there. And learn and grow to make sure that the strongest style becomes truly the strongest style. Because that way he gets credit for sending the guy out to learn from other people. It's still his fault.
I mean, you could easily give the excuse like you're not ready to learn the next stage of the strongest style. You must gain context and learn other fighting styles, or some shit like that.
That could work. That thank you for that. That could work.
No problem.
Yeah. So he starts going around to all these other fucking masters, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm a student of the strongest style," and they're like, "Oh God, you learn from him, but you're so good, but you learn from him." Ah.
This is bullshit.
So it's like a combination of they don't want to teach him and let Dan take the credit, but they can't let that kind of talent just go to waste.
That does sound very entertaining.
So yeah, I wanted to write something in Street Fighter since I played six, because that is a very neat sort of story hook for the creator character. Is that they're just that good. But yeah, this just sort of came together, and I was like, I have a free choice week. I can write whatever I want. I'm doing it. So yeah, that's what I get to write tomorrow, and I'm kind of excited about it. Looking forward.
Sounds fun.
So yeah, I think that's a podcast. I don't think anything else, especially.
Not at the moment, no.
We did a podcast without Zero.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
Yeah, it's a rarity. Yeah, he's currently in Stormsville. Currently, I hope he's doing well.
Yeah.
He's having some internet troubles, so
Welcome to living on the coast.
Well, welcome to living on the coast in current year. Let's say.
Yeah, fair.
That was not really a problem in California prior to now, basically.
Yeah, they've always had mudslides. I think mud has always been a problem.
Mud and fire.
But yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I hope he's doing okay. He seems to be. He's away, but he's on mobile.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is a podcast. Discord link in the description, Patreon link in the description. Why did I forget that? I do this every week. Well, not every week. Bye, everybody.
Because you missed last week.
That's the reason, sure.
Yeah, 1 week missing and everything literally falls out of my head. Like, the tone sounds like I'm being bitter and like talking shit to you, but I'm really not. That actually sounds plausible. So,
Look, I've done that at work. I've taken a week-long vacation and come back and forgotten my passwords. It's bad.
Yep.
bye, everybody.
See you guys.
Rabbits.